Okay. A very good evening. I wish to Mrs. Daphne Tan from SJKC Hualien 2, and to
Yes.
today she will be answering the questions that I'll be asking her. Um,
Mm.
Mrs. Daphne, okay, in your opinion, how are speaking and listening skills taught in a classroom setting? And also, are you using any techniques in the classroom to develop speaking and listening skills?
Actually, if you talk about techniques, right,
Mm,
most of us from how we, I mean, through pedagogy and our teaching methods is all basically the same, but the environment that I'm in now is mostly Chinese speakers,
mm,
so their listening and speaking skills are very, very weak. So
ah,
I have to so-called use a very simple methods to carry out my listening and speaking skills.
okay.
So okay, proceed.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Can you elaborate to us like what what are the techniques that you use to
Mm.
overcome this problem?
Okay, so the usually the techniques are uh when I ask questions, I need to make sure that they can understand my question before answering. So sometimes I have to use translation. If those were very big ones, I have to use translation. I have to translate into Chinese, and then they understand already, and
Oh,
then they will try their best to maybe uh by answering one or two words, then I will have to guide them. So by
alright.
giving some clues, okay, by giving some clue words to them, then they can say something that I mean I'm waiting for the answers. So that's part of the simplest technique that I have to use from for the beginning. But for the other kids who are better ones, straight away when I they can understand my question, so they can straight away answer. So when you talk about techniques, right, actually there are many techniques I can use. What you call it, like some sort like using my sign language to them,
Mm-hmm.
and then encouraging them, keep on trying. Sometimes I give like tools by writing on the board a word or
Mm,
two, to help them.
okay. Oh, okay,
Mm,
okay. So what I understand is, in order to facilitate the weaker students, you
mm.
basically use grammar translation method. Am I right?
Yes,
Uh,
vocab, not really
oh,
grammar, vocab. Yeah.
okay, okay, okay. Okay. Moving on to the next question, we stick
Mm,
with the issues in L2 listening and speaking skills.
mm.
What would you recommend practicing to further improve the students' speaking and listening abilities?
Mm. What would I recommend? Okay, I would recommend them to first of all, if their interest is through listening to songs, and usually L2, right? They can't focus long, so I need to have something interesting for them, something colorful. So usually I'll be using my smart board. So it's either I use PowerPoint or I use YouTube, any videos to help them. So when they listen really, or example like songs, and they like the song, the tune of the song, and I make sure that the words that I use for them will be very easy and will be repetitive, so they can listen and follow whatever that's been sung or said. So that's the most important thing. Is based on their interest. No point of forcing them memorizing. I mean trying to listen and speak something that they don't understand and they do not have any interest in. So it will just is pointless for me. So when something that's interesting for them and they love it, so they'll definitely learn it. And repetition is very important. Repeating, and then question them, say it over, drilling. Yeah, that is
Okay.
important. That is what I would recommend.
Hmm.
Drilling.
Well, Miss Daphne, you have definitely answered the following questions, which is
Yeah,
very
yeah,
good.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Moving on. Can you suggest any speaking opportunities or practice sessions outside of the classroom to help the students gain more confidence in using the language?
Outside the classroom,
Yeah.
usually like outside the classroom, it is um it's a bit difficult. But usually when I go out, I mean I'm out of from the classroom, uh, they will know that if I'm teaching them English, whenever they see me, they will have to speak to me in English. So
Mm.
it's through my classroom lessons that I'll make sure I said that you must speak in English, and I have to sometimes, I mean, it's not nice to say it, but sometimes I have to like sort of like punish them, if they
Oh.
speak in Chinese. So but of course my punishment is very simple. Simple, like something like I will deduct their point in their groups. Each class they have their group points, so I will deduct their points, or maybe I'll make them punish them by writing sentences like I will remember to speak in English uh
Mm.
in class, something like that, that they will remind themselves not to speak in Chinese whenever they see me outside the classroom.
Oh.
Whenever they go, that's one of the things that help me a lot. So whenever they see my face, they will know that, oh, I need to speak in English with Madam Daphne. So
Oh.
that is one of the, I mean, that's what I will suggest. Whenever they, oh, another thing is that your question is to help students gain more confidence, right? So
Yep.
whenever I see them, I will make sure that I speak to them in English, and then, ask simple question, have you eaten? You drink the water? So they will try to answer me, and then I will help them out. I will help them by, some sort of like guiding them. I will, something like that.
Oh.
So you have to encourage them. That is, it is not an easy thing to do, but uh you have to start somewhere. So I'll make sure that whenever they see me, they have to speak in English. So it's one of the opportunity for them to use English outside the classroom.
Oh.
Then other than that, it's very difficult because I'm in a Chinese school and they want them to speak in Mandarin. So for me, I'm the third language. If you compare with BM, I'm the third language. English is the third language in Chinese school. So it's very difficult for us to give them
Mhm.
opportunity, uh, especially outside the classroom. Gain confidence, gaining confidence, uh, it's just to encourage them. That's what I would say.
Mm. All
Because that's
right.
very tough. Mm. Because of their it's part of their family background
Mhm.
that will have a problem, when they are learning our extra language or third language.
Alright, I see, I see. So there's a silver lining to your punishment as well, right?
Mm.
As in
Yeah.
the drilling inside their head, they will be much
Mm.
more disciplined to, okay, when I see Madam Daphne, I shall speak English. I speak English only.
Yes.
Then it's
Correct.
imprint. Okay, okay.
Mm.
Okay, Madam Daphne, in all the years of teaching in primary education, how can students work on improving their pronunciation and intonation? And also,
Mm.
are there any specific techniques or resources that could help them with this issue?
Okay, pronunciation and intonation, right? Is usually through us. Uh, you see, sometimes usually through us, we as the English teacher for the particular class, right? Because I need to speak correctly. So I'll make sure that sometimes they try to say something, but their pronunciation is wrong. And it's not because of my fault, or their parents. It is due to their tuition teachers. Now most of them are with tuition teachers. So what I can do is I will correct their pronunciation, and then we'll drill them. So by drilling them, keep on pronouncing. First of all, I will use I mean, I need to prove it to them that what I'm saying is correct, because they will question me through, I mean, by saying that my tuition teacher says so. So I mean, I have smart board in our school, so I will on the pronunciation through YouTube or Google, and let them hear the pronunciation. Then when they listen to it ready, then they say that, oh, okay, what I've said is true. So they will learn through that lah. So that is one of the way to improve their pronunciation. Wait, go first, Mm.
Mm.
So the technique is that one. I let them listen first.
Mm.
So through, I mean, by having smart boards in schools are very really helpful, really, really helpful. So it really helped me to let them hear the correct pronunciation. And then coming to pronunciation, right, I have to make sure that I have to explain to them that there's American side of it and then the British side of it. So I have to let them listen to both sides. And then I will remind them that our country, we are using the Queen's language. So make sure
Mm.
we use the British one.
Yeah.
That's one way to help them to improve their pronunciation. And then by us, through us, as
Mm.
an English teacher, we have to speak with correct pronunciation and intonation.
Mm.
Intonation is how we drill them. And they are sorry to say that, but nowadays there are so many English teachers that they themselves are pronouncing wrongly.
Mm.
They they pronounce wrongly, and through that, so sometimes like I'm the head of the panel for English. So I myself, I will go around and help the other teachers. When I hear them pronounce wrongly, I will correct the teacher first, and then I will inform them to rectify it in class. So for us, I mean, as a teacher, right, I feel that the teacher needs to improve themselves first before they can help the students.
All right.
So okay, hope that
Okay.
answer
Yeah,
you.
that is very helpful actually.
Mm,
By using smartboard a
mm,
lot, by
mm.
basically using the technology that's present around us, it's definitely will be very
Yes.
helpful, right?
Correct,
Okay.
correct. If they don't have smart board, you can use what you call use it through your phone.
Yeah.
There are many ways to do it. It's whether we as we as a teacher whether we are dedicated to do so only.
Yeah,
If you can't,
yeah.
you learn the thing. You don't have the technology. You have your phone. You can use that to let them hear. Try your best now. See whatever ways and means you can do it. Mm. If
Mm.
you're dedicated, you'll find any way will do one.
All
Mm.
right, all right. I understand. Okay. Moving on from the topic of intonation and pronunciation, we shall look at the
Oh,
fluency now.
Remus, Remus,
Yeah, yeah.
Remus. There's another thing is that yeah,
Mm.
pronunciation and intonation, right? Through songs,
Yeah.
yeah, through songs,
Mm.
and then another thing is that nowadays our textbook, through the CEFR, the textbook, they have a lot of listening and speaking audios for us, you know. But the problem is, yeah, there are many activities through that. It's just that sometimes we it's very difficult for our like my students, they're from Chinese background, so for them to carry out to listen and understand, they can't do it, you know. So
Mm.
they listen to the pronunciation, but then when they want to, to remember the thing, right, what it will take some time. I mean, it's
Oh.
difficult for me. So what I'll do is that I keep on repeating, make them drill. So that's where whenever let's say today I have my class, then the next day when I go into my class, I will have this I will sort of like uh brainstorm them again. What are the words that I taught you all and how to pronounce it.
Mm.
So through songs, sometimes they like it, right? So okay, good. And then coming to like documentaries, it's a bit difficult. They don't understand much. So the easiest is maybe through short, like short cartoons, some sort like
Ah.
that. It will help them to improve
Mm.
it lah.
Okay, so songs, short stories, poems,
Mm.
something that will interest
Yeah,
the students, right? That will
yeah,
make them much.
but nothing like us
Mm-hmm.
teaching them, guiding them to read the thing. That's how you can pronounce, help in their pronunciation intonation,
All right.
making them read it, you know.
Mm-hmm. All
They
right.
listen to us already, then they follow and read. That's one way. And you have to drill many times.
That's very
Then you
important.
see
Yeah.
that they will learn. Yeah, drilling is the best lah.
Mm.
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 Okay, next. Sorry.
Okay. It's okay. Okay. We shall move on to the next topic, which is fluency.
Fluency.
Uh, how can students improve their fluency in the targeted language? And are there any specific exercises or strategies that you may recommend?
Oh God, fluency is so difficult. Okay, what I'll do, you know, one of what I usually do is that I'll give them fluency, right? So fluency is usually this is a Chinese background. So fluency, I'll make them memorize like some sort like short sentences or paragraph. Then after memorizing it, they can remember it, then they will learn to notes um say it out in front of me or in front of their friends. So it's like it's sort of like it helps, when they keep on saying the same thing, and then you can see that they slowly improve bit by bit in fluency, but not much. It's and then usually I don't have that much time to listen to all the groups uh to say it out, to make them say it out for the whole hour. And so it's a bit difficult lah, fluency. It's very difficult.
Mm.
But drilling lah, you let them memorize already. Then after
Mm-hmm.
that, I'll make sure that I will call one by one to speak it out for me to listen. Then by doing so, and then all together in a group, in groups, and then the whole class, and then they sort of like I drill them many times, then it helps a lot lah. It helps here and there lah,
Mm-hmm.
for fluencies. But it's difficult to 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 improve
Yeah.
100%. It's difficult. Usually it's through their own interest. If they like to watch English movies and this and that, right? Through listening already, then if they can speak, then you can have fluency. But if they can't even speak, how can fluency happen? Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh
Yeah.
yeah. So to talk about fluency in like this kind of school, like my school, is tough, very tough. But
Mm.
those who are from the English background family one, they of course they have no problem in fluency. So the
Mm.
targeted group one is so difficult to help them, and they
Yeah.
won't open their mouth. They won't open. If can't they won't don't want to try to speak. So I can't help them, if they don't want to speak. And I have so many students in my class, and I'm teaching so many classes, so it's very tough for us.
Mm.
Strategies, exercises, those are the thing that I can think of lah. That will not to just say it to you, but the ones that work is that I must be consistent myself. So when I
Mm.
make them memorize the sentences or paragraph, the better ones I make them memorize the paragraph, the weaker ones in sentences. So they will come out and say out aloud in front of their class, or to their group. So I feel that it helps them to build confidence also. So slowly, every time I must remind them to do it. Okay, in groups. Okay, we start first. So they will start saying out the sentences that they have memorized. So bit by bit, they have the confidence to say the whole sentence correctly. So I feel that it will help lah. Somehow or other, it will help better than they can't even speak at all.
Mm.
Hmm.
Very well
So
said.
they
Yeah.
memorize.
Yeah.
In real life, I mean, in while you all are still studying, right? The methods can be, I mean, you can write so many methods, but to do it and to see that the outcome of it is not easy. Mm, it's very tough. So
It needs the student's effort itself, right?
yeah, but
Yeah.
most of them, they go home and they are just with their Chinese and their homework and parents. Well, how are they going to speak? They unless you make them read the thing. No,
Yeah.
lah, other than that, it's very tough. It's very tough. It's some sort like I'm clapping my own hand only. Mm. One hand
Okay.
to clap. Okay,
Okay.
sorry.
All right.
Get
It's okay. Okay. Moving on to the next question. In your opinion, Mrs. Daphne, how
mm.
can I, as a student nowadays, in this generation and times with the technologies and the informations, how can I create a supportive and inclusive learning and environment where students feel comfortable taking risks and making mistakes while speaking,
Mm.
especially in nowadays since a lot of things are evolving and so on.
Mm. How can you create a supportive and inclusive learning environment?
Do
Mm.
do you feel as in I have to use my own techniques, my own approach to the students, or should I just basically stick with the old ways of learning for
Mm.
yeah.
I feel that it's both, because okay, this okay. supportive and inclusive learning environment. So learning environment in the classroom. Is it in
Mm.
the classroom? I
Yes.
as a teacher, I mean English teacher, I will try my best to do it in the classroom, because if I ask them to do it as homework or what, I know that it will never come true. Maybe 20% will do it, and 80% of them they can't do it. So because we're talking about learning, listening and speaking skills, isn't it?
Yeah.
So um so in class, number one is that I am using English. I try my best not to use Mandarin. But to some of them, the targeted groups, the L2, they are so weak that they totally don't understand. And those who are daring, they will tell me straight that they don't understand what I'm saying. So in that case, I have to use a little bit of
Mm.
Chinese
Mm-hmm.
to help them feel more comfortable when they are in my class, so that they will have some little bit confidence. I mean, not to be afraid to say the wrong thing. Even if they say so, I will encourage them. I say it's okay. You try to say a few words in English. You want to add your own Chinese words, you can do it. So through that way, um, when they make mistakes, they know that, oh, it's okay to make mistakes, because what do you call it, teacher won't scold you, teacher won't punish me. So I will, every time I will tell them, I say, never mind, just try. In a sentence, if the sentence got 10 words, never mind. If you can try to start by putting in using about four English words inside, and then the
Mm.
rest you use Chinese, never mind, keep on doing it. So bit by bit, they will learn. I have my 3 years back, I asked I asked my senior assistant to give me my year one class. So I've never taught year one before, so they gave me year one class. This year, they are my year four already. I'm teaching them 4 years. So from standard one, two, three, I tell you, I do not speak in Mandarin at all. I only use Mandarin, just I will whisper to some of them who really don't understand. I will whisper quietly to them the meaning of it. Then they understand, they will do it. Then the rest I will keep on using English. And then standard one, I won't really say that I punish them. But I can see that when they go up to standard two, most of them, the moment they see me, they will use English. So they're comfortable with me. I won't I know how to sort of like persuade them, and then I'll make the whole classroom be happy, and I have to give rewards. So and then I will try to make my lessons to be very interesting. And then whenever and then another thing is that I do not pressure them. And whenever they see me, or they enjoy my class, my lesson, so they will, this way it will encourage them. No, they are comfortable with me, and so bit by bit they learn. So those who doesn't they don't open their mouth to speak English, bit by bit they start using words, phrases to in English, which really make me very proud of them. And then by the time they're in year three, I can hear with I can hear that they are actually using really, I mean, whole sentence of English to each other, with each other, that giving orders, and then answering, no, responding to each other in English,
Mm.
which is very good. So yeah, actually making them feel comfortable, then they will dare to use the language. And then of
Mm.
course, when I have group work, they will tell each other, hey, don't speak English, if not our group, we don't have extra
Mm.
marks. And then through that, end of the year, I will collect all the marks, and I will give them a very big prize, a big something, a lot of things lah.
Mhm.
But to the other groups also, they will still have presence, but less presence. So this really encouraged them. So now they're in year four. Now when in year four, most of them, they understand what I'm saying, and they can speak to me. Each time they see me, they will use simple English to communicate.
Mhm.
So this is the one batch that I mean, sort of like I tried on them, no, totally with English. So it works lah. So but it's up to myself also. The teacher, we as an English teacher, right, we must be really dedicated, must be really patient with them. So now most of them, they can speak in English already. So most of them can speak in English, which I'm very proud of lah. Now they're in year four.
Mhm.
So but after that, I couldn't proceed already, because my penolong kanan needs me to teach the level two students.
Mm-hmm.
So they are the one batch with my little white mouse.
Uh, okay.
They are,
So,
really it works.
mhm.
Yeah.
So, so based on my understanding from your
Mm,
explanation, to to put it in simpler terms,
mm,
what what I should do as a teacher, I should
mm,
basically build up their confidence, get them to
mm.
trust me first, and
Yes.
also if let's say the ones that are really struggling, I shall use a bit of grammar translation method, as in
Mm.
speak in their native language a bit, okay,
Yes. Speak in their native language. Yeah.
and also uses prizes for
Mm,
example,
rewards.
yeah,
Rewards.
use
Reward system.
rewards to motivate them, right? Mm,
Yes. Yes. Correct.
okay.
Uh,
Right. Okay, so we move on to the last question. How
oh,
do
another
you,
thing.
yeah,
Another thing.
uh-huh.
When they are making mistakes, do not condemn them.
Ah,
And when the other students will tend to do that. They will condemn their friends. So we try to encourage more.
mhm,
So you take them, pull them aside, and then you try motivating them. Try talking to them.
mhm,
Eh, it's sort of like one to one. You just why just talk to them. You just say, it's okay when you make mistakes. Teacher, I'm very
um,
proud of you. So this kind of words really help them. No, they are
mhm,
still so young, right?
mhm,
It actually motivates them a lot. And then you keep on, you see them, and then you encourage them. Whenever they use one or two words in English, then you clap your hand and say, "Wow, you see, you're using the language already. You're using
okay.
English already. Very good." They will change. So
Mm,
simple things like that, they will change. So must be compassionate, lor.
mhm.
So being a teacher I mean, it's fun. It's really fun. Other than all the nonsense work lah, but it's fun. Yeah, dealing with that.
Mm,
I love this. I love kids lah. See
mhm.
the improvement. So that's it lah. Okay, next question.
All right. For the last question, okay.
Mm.
How do you analyze the speaking and listening abilities of your students? Do you rate them, or do you basically put this is the good side, this is the bad side? So how do you do it?
Mm, actually, I don't. I know myself enough. I'll keep in mind that this student needs to be I need to speak more. I need to call this particular student to I'll question that student more, or make him or her read more. So I'll keep in mind whenever I enter so many classes that I'm entering, right? Like we all as in SJKC classes, I hold about 5 classes of English. If I'm in SK school, I think I just hold 3. So in Chinese school, I need to hold. Usually I was holding 6 classes, but cannot take it already. So I this year I request for 4. So whenever I enter my own class, I know which student they are the weak ones, and I will make sure my attention is more towards them, but without
Oh,
showing or telling the other students that that particular student is weak. So I will call that student more often,
mhm,
and then I will sort of like guide them more, and then I'll call
mhm,
them out. Are you okay or not? You can follow me. Can you read out
mhm,
for teacher? Something like that. So if they don't understand, I use Chinese to help them, especially the level two ones. Then because level two, I'm not teaching them in level one. So whatever happens in level one, I do not know how much the teacher has taught them. So in level two, whenever I'm in charge of teaching them, so that's how I will remember each and every one student. I do not put them aside. I do not what do you call that, like put a group that these are the weak ones. No, I do not do that. So I just keep in mind I must
mm,
be responsible to encourage them lah, to keep on
mm,
motivating them. It helps a lot. I've been teaching for 26 years, right? So many of them, by the end of the day, no matter what, maybe now they are still young, they they're not ready to learn. So as they go to secondary school, I can see that they're slowly improving. And because each time they will come back to visit us, whenever I see them outside, then I can see that wow, they're actually improving because they are ready to learn. Mm. So how to analyze? No, I just keep in mind.
mhm,
Like now we have our classroom assessment, the
mhm,
PBD.
Mhm.
pentaksiran bilik darjah, right? I have my own list, our form. We have our own list that we will what do you call that? Uh, Analyze them ourselves. So basically, I must know my students, each one of them. So how I do it, I will call one by one. I will ask them questions,
Mhm.
this and that. So from there, with the help of other students, they will tell me that, oh, teacher, this one she don't understand, he don't understand. Then I will know already. So I keep in mind that I have to focus more on this student, especially in
Mhm.
listening and speaking skills. But then, Remus, uh, 2020, 2022, we have the new exam, UASA,
Mhm.
the new one, instead of UPSR, they call it UASA.
All
So,
right.
but then of course, this one is not the national exam. Okay, so this one is more based on our school one. So
Mhm.
this UASA, they are not focusing on listening and speaking skills nowadays. No, since last year, we ourselves, we as teachers, right, we are having this problem of before that, when they stop UPSR, they want us to focus listening and speaking skills. Then last year, when come up with the exam, UASA exam, then they want us to focus more on writing, reading and
Mhm.
writing. So now I have to focus more on reading and writing. Speaking and listening, I'm putting it whenever I have time to do it.
Mm.
So I have to I have to prioritize myself. So like now, if UASA they are not doing well, they will have problem when they are going to secondary school. So now listening and
Mhm.
speaking, most of us are not really putting so much. We are not prioritizing more on this listening and speaking. So if like those time, okay, I give you one example.
Mhm.
One of the activities. Certain workbooks, I'm saying workbooks, we have a QR code at the side there. So like certain activities, I want them to go home to do it. I will They will scan themselves through their phone, and then they will carry out the activities. That's one of the activities which I want to share with you.
Wow.
That's what I'm doing now. That's as homework. So they will
Mhm.
listen, but not speaking. They will listen and then they will write,
Right.
find the answer.
Wow.
Sorry, I've missed out that one.
Mm.
So
Okay.
coming back to your question nine, analyzing.
Mhm.
So that's how I analyze it lah.
All right.
So
Mhm.
I use the transit form. That means we call it the PBD form. To rate them. How I rate them? We have transit PBD. We have the six tahap.
Okay.
Tahap 1 to tahap 6.
Mhm.
And then so from there, whenever I come out from my classroom, right, from my class, I will I will remember that, okay, this child, I already tested, analyzed them. Then I just tick lah. Tick them
Mm.
according to their skills lor. That's one way lor.
Mm.
But
All right.
usually those are paperwork lah, nonsense paperwork. But then, for my own self, between me and the child, I want them to improve under my own guidance, right? I will make sure that I remember the weak ones, the ones who really need my help.
All right.
Mm.
Mm. Okay.
Okay, you know how to write.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, that's all the questions that I have for
Mm,
you, Mrs. Daphne.
mm,
I thank you very much for this interview. It's been really helpful.
mm. You're
And yeah,
welcome.
okay, thank thank you.
Okay.